Hey, everybody. Can y'all see me and hear me? How's everybody doing? Are you celebrating the end of the semester? Yay, right? Type into the chat how you're doing and if you're done with grading. Yes. While you're doing that, I'm going to get my screen share ready to go. We have a couple new teachers who are joining us. Lita is here. If you remember Lita, she is teaching our computer applications class. And Dina is here. She's teaching math. And Kelly is here. She's teaching history and grammar. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen. Good. And can you just see my PowerPoint or can you see everything? Yeah, Jen's getting married. So that's pretty exciting. How many days, Jen? How many days do you have? A week from Saturday. Ah, so exciting. Okay, let's take just a minute and open in a word of prayer. We have a lot to cover today, and I have a hard stop at 5:15. So I want to give you guys a chance to ask questions, and we have some things to go over. So let's start with prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for all the gifts that you give us, Lord. And I thank you that even in bad days, we can count on your word and count on your grace and on your forgiveness. I pray that you'll bless this meeting with teachers, that we'll be honoring to you in everything that we say and we do. And most of all, Lord, I just want to thank you for the teachers that we're ending this year and for all the hard work that went into this hard year. Thank you very much. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so this is our teacher meeting, May 2018. Did I miss anybody? Melanie came in, and she is also a new teacher, so if you guys can just welcome all the new teachers when you get a second. Welcome, Melanie. Okay, so we have quite a bit to cover. I see that almost everybody is done with grades, and I just wanted to give you kind of a congratulations because this is the end. We are week 16 out of 15, week 31 out of 30. So you have reached the winner's circle, or at least you've almost reached the winner's circle. And I kind of want to give you a timeline for what to expect coming up here, but first I want to know what your summer plans are. Any summer plans? What's the best thing you've got on your plate this summer? Painting. Nice. Road trips. Bike ride. Yay, Jamie. Fun getting married. Yay. Kids time. Work, testing. Maybe you're getting married. Chemistry intensive. Good, Christine. Nice. Everybody's excited about summer, right? It's a nice break. Yeah, Dina, we're in Michigan. Marquette, way up north. Very exciting. So that sounds great. It sounds like everybody's got some good plans, some plans for relaxing, some plans for traveling, some plans for maybe doing some reading. Okay, so here's our end of the year procedures. We have families now who are asking when they're going to be able to see final grades, how long they'll have access to these grades that are itemized, you know, where they can see everything in the grade book and all of the assignments. They'll have access to everything until May 31st. So final grades are due by the 25th. Remember to take the quiz. And then what we'll do is we'll go through all of those end of year procedures, and their final grades will go on to what's called their historical grade. And so then they'll only be able to see this, you know, like the end result. And the end result of a full year class will be semester 1 and semester 2 that are averaged together. And then the end result of obviously a semester class is just that grade. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to go into your class and learning, and you'll need to publish or unpublish everything except for your welcome page, because what we don't want is we don't want people to still have access to, you know, like all of your recordings, all of your materials, all of your syllabus. So as soon as your grades are finalized, you can send out an email saying, thanks, I've had a great time being your teacher. This is the end. You'll be able to see everything in your historical grades. And by June 1st. And if you need anything printed, print it now. If you unpublish pages, yes, they can still access their grades through PowerTeacher. So the only thing that they're going to be able to see in learning is your, welcome to this page. They just won't be able to go through all of the assignments and the tests and quizzes and things like that anymore. So remember that the steps for storing grades in learning is in our teacher class. And so you can go through each of those steps. And if you get stuck on anything, like there have been people who haven't been able to see certain things or anything like that, let me know. And I'd be happy to hop into a room with you and we'll figure it out. If I can't answer it, I can find an answer for you. Extra credit is finally solved. Yay. Good. Any questions about end of year procedures? The only thing really that you need to do is finalize everything in PowerTeacher, and then we're good to go. Okay. I did not see your question. Sorry.
I have a question.
Vicki. Okay.
Should I type it or speak it?
You can speak it.
Okay. Carrie, I'm just wondering, just a minute ago, I went and followed your steps to do the one of my 2 classes, okay. And I hit that save button for the final grade, but like nothing happened. Should something have happened?
No, like balloons or something.
Nothing happened. So I just wanted to make sure. I'm like, did I do anything? It didn't look like anything happened. Like the save box just went to a lighter shade of blue. So is that good enough?
Yeah, that's absolutely good. In fact, we have a procedure that we go through where we double check every teacher before we actually do the things on our end. So if there's anything that you missed, we'll let you know. Okay. And as far as Nikki's question, I see that now. No. Leave the self-paced classes. This is just for the live classes. That is a very good question. Audits, how do we do that? Okay, so that is on your, that's on our teacher page too. And that's when you go to that little box, where you fill the score box out and it'll walk you through that as well. Okay.
Carrie, if you don't remember to check the little box at the top of final grades, it doesn't actually, like you click it all night long. Let me just say for anyone who's a little brain dead, you just have to go in there and you have to check the box and then click save final grade, or else you don't get the little green check mark. So if you're clicking it endlessly, like some people might, that would be worth checking.
I'm sorry, Jen. Yes, definitely click the box that says final grades. Yes, good point. Okay, good. Okay, so what we're looking at, I want to give you kind of a numbers update. And this is something that, it's good in a way, but it's also, they're not as high as we would like them to be in a way. So there are a couple things that we need to do. Not that our numbers are bad. We have lots and lots of seats sold, but we also have lots and lots of classes. So we want to make sure that we have all of the classes that are as full as possible as we can for you, because obviously it's better to teach a full class than a class with only a few students. So we'd like to see them a little bit higher. Normally at this point in the year, we're at about a third or a little more of our registrations, and we'd like to see that number bump up a little bit more so that we can count on, a few registrations coming in through May and June, and then those last minute registrations that come in at the end of July and August. So usually it goes like a third, and a third. And there are several things that that we can do. I'm going to have Melissa share with you in just a second. But our June goal is to have all of our end of year procedures done and all of our new procedures in place. So it involves like switching over courses, making sure days and times are correct, and then putting all of our student enrollments in those courses. So when you actually have that access to that, you'll be able to see your numbers. Right now, if you want to know, just email me and I can look them up and let you know what those are. But I'm going to actually stop my share for a minute and let Melissa do a share and talk about blogs for a minute or two. Hang on, I think you're muted.
I have a really weird thing that started happening in Zoom where my cursor actually becomes invisible, and I don't know where it is until it's hovering over something clickable. So I don't know if anybody else has had that, but if you have, please reach out to me because that's been a problem in the last few weeks. At any rate, we're excited. We've been really wanting to just continue to get students in the classes, and we've been brainstorming different ways to do that. One of the things that we discovered last year, we totally thought that it was all about offering discounts. We discovered last year that it is actually not. I'm not really sure why that is, but it's not. It's actually all about keeping our name in front of people. And that has been one of our big goals for this year, is to just get our name out. We've handed out all kinds of things at conferences. I have this really big thing about bookmarks with our name on it because they have staying power. People stick them in books, and then they find them later. They don't just toss them like a sheet of paper. So we've handed out like 1,000 bookmarks and more to come this year. So we're really getting our name out there. But we have, and one of the reasons that I think a lot of you went with Bright Ideas is because we're a known company and we have a following. We have these platforms. We have an audience. We've got like 12,000 members on our email list. We've got 12,000 people following us on Facebook. We've got a couple thousand on Instagram. So we have a platform, but we really, really need you with this audience that we have. We need people on the stage. We need something to go out there to this audience. So when we talk about blog posts, that's really important because that's one of the things that we have. Not only does that just go on our blog, but that goes out to our whole email list. And then we choose images to put on Instagram and on Facebook. And then we grab quotes from the blog posts and tweet them. So we have definitely a lot of options, platform options to reach a bunch of different people. One of the things that I have picked up doing now is graphic organizers or some kind of printable. We want a printable with each blog post so that people really want to see our blog posts, because then there's like something fun and free that comes with it and something that they can use. So actually, let me flip past here. So here's some of the things that I've been creating just in the last week or so. We've got a summer reading list. We've got a printable where they can use a Venn diagram and compare a book to a movie. We've got a summer reading book chain where they can keep track of the books that they read and, create a paper chain and, race with their siblings or what have you. Here's a lab report to go with Christine's blog post that she recently wrote. So lots of different options, but we want your blogs to really have staying power. So please, they can be simple. If you need ideas, we have ideas. But one of the pieces, so this is off the Bright Ideas Press blog. And you'll notice at the bottom of most blogs, you're going to have this at the bottom where it talks about the author. There is an image here, and there's a little bio. And that piece is a really great tool for you. We're going to show you how to do it. It involves a login to the Academy website. And we'll give you information on how to do it. But I want you to think about a short bio that you could include. This is a place where you give this great content on your blog post, and then people are like, oh, who wrote this? Where did this come from? Oh, a teacher at the Academy. Oh, this was such a clever post. I really want my kid to take science. Oh, look right here. There's a clickable spot where I can see what classes they're teaching. And that is, that's going to point straight to you. That's your marketing tool. So we really need content, and it's not hard. And once you send us the blog post, we'll put it up there. But we are going to need you to log into the website, have a good-looking headshot, and create just a short bio in this spot so that we can use that so that you can highlight yourselves and just really fill your classes. Are there any questions? Thanks, you guys. We're really excited.
Hey, Carrie, I have a question based on your comment of getting everything ready for next year.
Yeah.
Could you put days and times along with course titles at the top of the learning pages this coming year?
No, but you can. So you can edit the name of your class according that way. So like if you have, it's especially helpful if you have like biology and you have two sections of something, and you can put biology 11 a.m., but you can edit that.
Okay,
and
I looked for that and I wasn't able to find it. So that's good to know.
Yeah. If I can walk you through that, Jen.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, other questions about the blog? Anything? Okay, good. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. I have a couple other things that are pretty exciting coming up here. Can you guys see it? Okay, so I have teacher retreat information. Yay! Our teacher retreat is October 6th through the 8th, and we're working on some really good training sessions for that teacher retreat. So what that is, it's a nice getaway weekend when we have training, we have fellowship, we usually have a worship session. It includes all of your meals. It includes your accommodations. And Melissa and I are working on some really great swag. So I can't give you specifics yet because I don't have specifics, but just know that we have a per teacher budget and it's pretty good. And I think the swag is going to be excellent. So there is a cost to register. However, you will get double that cost back when you actually show up for the retreat. Does that make sense? So we want you to send in a registration to hold your spot. No. No coffee cups. It's not going to be a coffee cup, Chris. Something even better than a coffee cup. You also have the option, if you want to pay a little extra, to be in a single room by yourself. So let me know if that is something that you want to do. And I'll be posting registration information to our teacher page. You can drive, you can fly, you can carpool with other teachers from the same area. We're planning a really good, fun, yet efficient use of your time. Does that make sense? So it's not going to be just fun and it's not going to be just learning. It's going to be an excellent combination of both. Where would you fly into, Melissa? Would you fly into Indianapolis? It's close to her.
You could fly to Louisville. That would be the coast, but it's cheaper to fly to Indianapolis. So it's further from the airport, but it's not doable. So if you find yourself in that kind of a position where that's like a deal breaker, then definitely fly into Indy.
Okay, that's good. And so we're actually going to need whether or not you're coming by a certain date. We'll need whether or not you're coming by the end of July so that, we can purchase all of that swag and get everything ready for you. And so I'll post all of that information on our teacher page. Any questions about the teacher retreat? Other than, are we going to have mugs? I am too. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, next on the agenda. Okay, so I don't want to fast forward the slide yet. I did it. Sorry, I wanted to give you a little background first. So we are starting a new program that is called Engage an Expert. And we're so excited about this. And so this is a program where families can either sign up for one-on-one tutoring or maybe like parent mentoring. So there would be several different situations in which something like this would work. So let's say somebody's having trouble with scheduling and they want to meet with somebody who is an expert in putting together a homeschool schedule. Or a student might be having trouble with geometry and they might want to meet regularly with a geometry teacher. It's a way for families to, and not just academy families, hopefully we'll be bringing families in to access teachers and people who are experts in different subject area and kind of pick their brain or use that in their homeschooling experience. So it would be tutoring for students, it would be a consultation and support for parents, it could be a one-time session where somebody just said, I need help. It could be several different sessions, and parents and families would sign up for those. Now, to hold this, we need you guys. So, hopefully you guys, if you're an expert in a certain subject area, is that you, and you're interested in this, let us know. Now, when I say an expert, I really truly mean expert. So not just like, oh, hey, I bake brownies, so I would like to meet with somebody, and I can be a brownie baker on my Engage an Expert. Like really, truly an expert. Now, with that said, I don't necessarily mean that you had to go to baking school to be an expert, because you might be an expert through your life experiences. So maybe you have a student who's a special needs student and you feel like, okay, I've done all this research. We've gone through all of these steps in this journey together, and now I can share that with somebody else. So I want you to be thinking through exactly what areas this would work for you in, if it would work for you. One of the things that we really want to have you do is sign up for some consistent times, or have some consistent times available. There will be 30-minute spots and there will be 60-minute spots that people can sign up for. And they can purchase, kind of in a package, or they can purchase it one at a time. So I realize that's kind of a lot to wrap your mind around. So just kind of be thinking about that. And what I will have for you, again, posted on our teacher page, is a link to a form that you would fill out to apply for this. Yeah, exactly. If you're an expert in dyslexia, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Or if you're an expert in geometry, or you want to work one-on-one with somebody in art. And so I think that you'll find that it's an easier approach. I shouldn't say easier. Maybe it's a little bit less work than teaching class. So it would include that actual half-hour or 60-minute meeting time, and then a pretty meaty follow-up email saying, okay, here's what we did, here's where you need to go from here. So we did a lot of research based on what people will pay, based on what people are charging all around the country. And we came up with a pay for teachers being $25 per hour or $15 per half an hour. So if somebody has questions in chemistry and they just want to work through, they can sign up for one. If somebody is preparing for an online speech competition or a physical speech competition, they might want to sign up for 3 of them and practice with Jamie. So questions. You can type them, you can come on mic. Okay, that is a really good question, and that's something that I wanted to make mention of, Chris. So how does this relate to current students? The one thing that we don't want is we don't want somebody who's actually taking a chemistry class to then have to sign up for additional chemistry tutoring through this program. Does that make sense? So it would be somebody who's not taking the class. Like, you wouldn't be teaching English and go, you know what, you need some extra work, so you can now pay this much money and I'll meet with you outside of class. So it would not be that at all. It would be something that a student is not taking. Is there any way that there could be some sort of list of needed expertise? Maybe what students, and we have had parents and students request this. And so actually we're putting together a list right now, Nikki, and that's where we need feedback from you as well, because I'm sure that I can come up with a list, but I'm not going to come up with all of the ideas that you all might have because you're experts in different areas. So yes, college-age students contacting, I think that would be okay too. Absolutely. Other questions, thoughts? We're hoping that we can actually bring in outside families. I think I said that. And we're hoping that it can broaden your base for teaching as well. So something to consider, and we're going to put it together. What we're looking at is an August release date, so everything will be up and ready to go. Calendar spots will be available. Hopefully it'll all be automated so that the work on your part is very minimal and the work on our part is very minimal, and then you would have these meeting times with families. Yes. So when parents or families would sign up for that appointment, they'd fill out a little survey and you would get that information as a teacher so that you're not going, hey, oh, how old is your student? Okay, and wasting that time. You can hit the ground running during the session. Yeah, because a half an hour is not very long, and an hour, isn't very long either when you're focused on working through a problem. Any other questions? Good, 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 good. So take some time to process it, and I'll have that information up for you within the next couple of days. Okay, now we're nearing the end of the year, and you guys are all sending me, I hope you're all sending me all of your great parent feedback, because now is when you start getting those letters that say, oh, you've been such a great teacher, and now my student is really prepared for college biology, or I've really loved learning about the anatomy of the horse, or something like that. Please send those to me. I know that it feels like you're bragging, but you're not. I want all of those. In fact, I post them on the end of year reviews. So everybody at the end of the year is going to get a project review for their teaching, and it has some of our communication back and forth. It has, when I've gone in and looked at your pages and all of the wonderful things that you're putting on your pages. It has how you're doing in your online classes and what great things you're doing there. So I'd like to meet one-on-one with everybody just for a short, like 10 to 15 minute session that first week of June, that first full week of June. So if you could email me with your availability during that week, it'll also give you a chance to ask questions, because I know some of you have said, I'd really like to format my assignments different this year, or I can't figure out how to do my assessments the way that I want to for this particular activity. So it'll give you a chance to ask questions, and it'll give me a chance to go over things with you. And with that being said, I want all your parent feedback. You're getting them, right? Everybody's getting good parent feedback?
It may help some people. I have a very hard time with it, sending it, but then I started thinking, well, sometimes only the whiners email Carrie or Melissa directly, and that is available for them. So I feel like I should balance that. And sometimes the good stuff comes directly to us. So I'm like, okay, well, let me balance out whatever negative stuff they're hearing. I'm such a positive person, can't you tell? So anyway, Carrie's like, yes, she's already dreading her end of year review. I am sorry, it's my nature. But yeah, so that helps me not feel so badly like I'm patting myself on the back when I send that stuff along to her. But
yeah, because you know how at least I know how I am. I send email really easy if I'm not happy about something, but I don't necessarily send it in a positive way until an opportunity like this with, thank you, my kids.
Chris, I send any good stuff I have to her, because again, I'm trying to balance it out, because Chris asked if students was okay. Yeah, I do both. Whatever I can send.
Yep, and I'm going to just collect that, and it'll go on those end-of-year reviews. Where do the end-of-year reviews go? We just hang on to those, and obviously they're all going to be good if you were asked to come back and teach next year, so you're all set. Yeah, if you have a parent who has emailed you about someone else, a different teacher, send those to me as well. It doesn't matter. You can send me an excerpt or you can send me the whole thing. Yep, doesn't matter. Okay, are you ready for the Consider It Done drawing? So for those teachers who are new, this was a program that we started this year, and if you are a teacher who does something, boom, immediately when asked, and we can kind of consider it done whenever we put that out there, you have been entered into the drawing. So I went into our gradebook and learning, and I picked everybody who has 100%, and I have everybody's name in a bowl right here. We have a $100 prize, we have a $250 prize, and we have a $500 prize. So are you ready? All right, first one I'm going to choose, I'm not going to look. $100 prize goes to Joanna Martinez. Is she here? She's not here, is she? Yay, Joanna. Okay, next one. $250 prize goes to Chris Linegang. Congratulations, Chris. And the last one, $500 prize, everybody's crossing their fingers, right? Goes to Christine Philippek. Yay, Christine. Very nice. Congratulations, guys. And I think that all of you have done a really good job at getting things done and getting things finalized, and congratulations to everyone. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to let Linda come on. Linda has done a couple of things in her class to encourage community and team building, and she has something that she'd like to share, which I think is a really cool idea. So I'm going to let you come on, Linda.
Thanks, Carrie. Can y'all hear me? Okay, good. I'm not sure that I have anything profound to share that you guys haven't already figured out, but let's remember I'm a new online teacher. This was my second year, so there was quite a learning curve for me, and one of my stumbling blocks has really been getting beyond the virtual with my kids. It's like I can meet a kid in person and connect pretty easily because I'm short, I guess. They're my size. But, with the screen, it's definitely a challenge to get way deep into their souls. And, I ask them these deep, profound questions of life, and sometimes they're just crickets. They just don't always respond when you think that they will or should. But one thing I found this year I stumbled on was that I kind of started by default a class after class, where there was a handful of students who would stay after class, and they're the ones who really wanted to talk about life. And it's turned into a summer book club because we just decided we didn't want to quit meeting. So we're going to do it casually and informally over the summer. For example, we're going to read Francis Schaeffer's book, the one about how now then shall we live. We're going to all read that and just talk about it like in a couple of weeks. And I'm only talking about 5 students, but yet it is so rewarding to me. Like I finally, I guess, feel like I'm getting somewhere with these kids by the nature of some of them staying after. And I wonder if too, and I don't know how many of the rest of you go through this, but I wonder if my setup is part of what's been intimidating, because my kids know they're being filmed because we're capturing my lectures, and then those I'm going to turn around as a product. So we might have had an additional barrier to sharing in class because of that. But what they know after class is that the camera is off. And so they're a bit more genuine. And sometimes we're just talking about movies we watched, but, I'm getting into their heart and soul, which is obviously the most rewarding. So I just wanted to pass that on. Carrie, I don't remember it. You said I had 2 things, but that's the only one I remember I was going to share. Was there something else?
I was just thinking that you did that with the after class and then the summer. So I thought it was neat that you carried it on into the summer.
Yes. It started midway through the school year, where these lingering students would stay, and then they realized that if they would stay, I would stay. And the next thing you know, it's an hour and a half after class, and some of them are still talking. And my husband's like, "Get off the thing," be done. But the last thing I'm going to do is cut them off when these kids are isolated, and they do want to talk about life. So that taught me something that, given the right set of circumstances, they'll open. And then the very idea that they were interested in continuing over the summer just thrills me to the core. So right now I've only committed myself to 3 meetings because I want to be careful, with my own time. And obviously I wouldn't want to, charge for that either. This is just a, come if you want kind of a thing, which actually leads me to ask a question to everyone. I know that there's a couple of Bright Ideas clubs. Carrie, would you elaborate on what the clubs are? Because that might be really what I've started, and I just might need to define it better.
So the club is, and you can actually look at these on our website, but the club is set up so it's a once a month meeting with a teacher in a certain area. So like Margie teaches the History Hoppers Club, and her whole club is geared toward the American girls. And so she'll do, an activity with the American girls, they'll read the American girls, and they'll do everything in that club focused on that. But we have several different clubs. There's an art club, there's a healthy eating club, and things like that. And it does.
Can I ask some questions? Are they free for the students to attend, and do the teachers not get paid? And are they meeting once a month?
They're meeting once a month, and they're not free for the students to attend. So the teachers do get paid for those clubs. So it's a little different than like an impromptu meeting, but I think what those impromptu meetings do is just really spectacular because they provide that community for students as well in such a laid back atmosphere. And I can imagine that those 5 students that are involved have told several people about that and broadened that interest in you and your classes and in the academy.
Hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
It
and
is.
Before you cut me off, could I have everyone give you a round of applause, because I think you're really an incredible administrator, and I'm so grateful. You've bailed me out 100 times because I'm the girl that never considered it done.
You're very sweet. Thanks, guys. I appreciate all of you. All of you. And welcome to the new teachers, and we'll meet again in July, but I'm sure I will be talking to you before that. Thanks, guys. Have a good summer.
Carrie, before we leave, can Michelle share her screen and show me how she does extra credit? Because I think I did it right, but I'm not 100% confident.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to see that too.
Okay. This one. Okay. So I have no idea what you see. If you see something you don't want to see, just don't look. Okay. So I had been doing my extra credit because it's usually something they submit. I, by the way, do the readership surveys. I wasn't great about them, so I'm going to actually set my Reading the Beacon readership survey things. I'm going to set them up this summer so that they're ready and I don't even have to think about them. And just so you know, I just have them send me a screenshot of their completed survey. And that just shows that they did that, because that helps our Beacon staff. And I love this year's editor. I loved last year's editor too, but I love this year's editor. So, so that you'll see one of those in here somewhere. But I had them set up in Learning, and that does not transition well. But this one here, I have unsaved changes. Well, I should save those then. So this is one I set up in PowerSchool. I did this one with Carrie in the office last week, so I named it PS so I knew where it came from. And I think I'm still going to keep the Dropbox portion in Learning so they can turn in whatever it is the extra credit is for, but I'm not going to send to PowerSchool, if that makes sense. When you're setting up a new Dropbox assignment, about halfway down, there's where the grade spot is. It says send to PowerSchool. Don't click that, so that you have access to the files in Learning, and then you'll have to manually transfer those grades into here. So if I click on edit assignment, you'll see what this looks like. So something we figured out when we were meeting is this has to be points-based here. And sometimes when you create a new assignment in Power Teacher, which remember we're told not to do for other assignments, you only want to do extra credit this way. Everything else should originate in Learning. Just for some reason, though, Carrie, we may just need to tell them, hey, fix this, because this should work with the Learning assignments, and it doesn't. But
we're working on that.
Yeah, because they may fix it by the time August rolls around. But let's not hold our breath. So you will see these little things. If this is points, you will see the extra points button. You can click on it. Mine's already clicked like that. And then you make your assignment 0 and the extra 5 or whatever it is it's supposed to be. If it's an assignment that I think I would always handle personally. I'll handle all my extra credits separately. So even if there was like a bonus question, on an assignment that they could get 105 on it, I think I'll handle the 5 this way, just because it's less confusing to me. So, and then here you want this to count in the final grade. If, like me, you already had it sending the grade to PowerSchool, I have not, Carrie, found a way to turn that off. So what they have done instead is for the one that is generating and Learning, I just click this green box. And then it's not counting the one that's not working. So, because it was not working. So I think that's it. And then things like the readership survey, we'll do our Beacon plug. You can actually select your classes here. And click all the classes you want. So as you're creating things, like I do an extra credit for Pi Day, and so that's for all of my classes, because Pi Day falls in the spring, and I don't have my non-math class in the spring. So though I'm enough of a math nerd, I suspect my government students would also get extra credit for Pi Day. But yeah, so you can click that and do those as a one-shot wonder. I think that's, did I cover it all? Okay, and now I have to go find my chat because you all are chatting at me and I'm not seeing it.
So I just want to
Carrie,
say one thing.
can I ask you a question? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
can I just back up one time? So if she said, if it's already there for learning, then you open that particular assignment that's already there from learning that you don't want to count, and you unclick that counted final grade button.
Yeah, so you'll see I have another, I just have to find it. It's not here. And I'm not with my second monitor where I'm at right now, so I can't see my whole screen. See, look, Beacon readership surveys. There we go. I think I've actually deleted them already, maybe. Anyway, they're around. But here I have 2 Pi Days, and you can tell which one is which. The one that's 0 is correct. It's the one that was created correctly. This one was, and you can see it has the online work. This shows me it's linked in Learning. So I can, when I click on this one, you'll see the green box that Carrie and I are talking about. So you see it's not checked. So those points aren't hurting. If they don't have them or do have them, it's not going to hurt them. So, and then Carrie and I last week actually went through, did one, and compared their category totals and saw that their exam scores did go up what we expected, which is, 5 points is not going to make that much, makes a little bit. It actually is affected. I've gotten people who went from a B to an A. So.
And again, this is how, yes, Chris, this is how it's truly extra credit, and it doesn't add to that overall score number of points.
Yeah, which this helps those students who have 100% in whatever that category is anyway, but they want the extra. If it's counted in Learning as just an extra assignment, then it's not helping those students. And we know that they want the 101.3, so this gives it to them. Okay, so I think did I answer?
Carrie and Michelle, I would like to know if what we see on the screen right now, is there a way you can go back to the other one that you had up that showed the 5 points, and can we save that as a screenshot and bury it somewhere in the teacher class for us? Because it makes sense now, but 3 months from now when we're all starting again, I will completely forget that.
Okay, so go here.
Yeah. Not to give you more work.
Speaking of that, while we're here, this button right here is my friend, and I don't know if everybody else has already found it. If so, why didn't you tell me? That's all I have to say. But I love this button. So if you've never seen it, this actually takes all your categories and gives you your percentages.
What?
So
never saw that before.
And sorry, we're not actually using a sample class, and those are real students' grades.
No, okay, so listen, with that being said about training, I don't know if you've noticed, if you're even paying attention to those PowerSchool notifications that you're still getting, but I am adding training. I've added a whole bunch of training videos and things like that, and this will be part of that, how to add extra credit.
Okay, so is this the screen you want, Linda?
Yes, that one. It just looks loaded with goodies, because that remove extra points thing, the 0, because it doesn't seem logical that there be a 0 on the score entry points, but I'll just copy that, and if that's what I do, and then add the extra with the 5. So
right.
Yeah, but seeing that would really help. Thank you.
Okay. I just have to get everything. Oh, look, I collapsed all the video. It works much nicer that way. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, I whined enough to Carrie that she's like, okay, let's meet in the office and figure it out. So we did, and I was very happy.
There are different ways to do it, but this one is the only way that it is truly extra credit, and it doesn't add to that final score. So. Good.
So, in case you want to do that other thing, if you click on grading, it's under here, category totals, which is right below the comment verification, which we will need shortly. So,
yep.
Even though nothing happens when you do it. I don't get the balloons I wanted, but that's okay.
Michelle, what does it look
Confetti.
like? in your, if you go back to like your score sheet, what does that particular assignment look like on that screen?
I have to find one.
Oops. That was it.
Nope, that was not, yeah, I went too far. Here's one.
Okay.
I think. Actually,
It's in italics.
This is not. This is one that this is the original, because you can see the submitted work. So this one came over from Learning. And so they're in italics because I clicked the green checkbox, which I also think is why it's purple.
I've got mine, I think, showing up as extra credit now, and I did enter in Learning, and it went through. I don't know how I did it.
The arrow keeps moving. I may just.
That's okay.
There it goes.
Sorry, guys, I have to end, but I'm happy to meet with any of you and go over any of this, especially, well, I'll do a training too, but especially if you have questions for that for this year. So, all right. Thanks,
Let
guys.
you go. Thanks.
Right. Have a great summer. Bye-bye.
Bye.